I guess I'll just open up by saying we're obviously extremely happy about the appeal and the reversal of the sanctions against postseason play for football. We appreciate the appeals committee really looking at our case, and obviously the fact that it's taken this long I think shows that they took this seriously and gave it its proper attention. And we're now ready to look forward and turn the page, and got a lot of new things going on this coming season, and this I think closes out where we've been and allows us to move forward into next season with a full steam ahead attitude.
I could say ditto. Right? Well, I said earlier that I thought what the committee found was exactly why we appealed it, was that it was two sports, not one sport, and I thought that's what the appeal committee that we appealed to found, and I think it was a great decision for UCF, the football program, the fan base, and it's a great way to start the season ticket sales off with a momentum. And the big thing that people don't understand is that we've been getting a lot of negative recruiting because of that appeal. You know, people telling kids that you wouldn't be going to a bowl game or that type of thing. Now, it happened just at the right time. The coaches hit the road this week. I think it's great momentum as far as that's not something you're carrying around your back anymore. And I think now at least we have the opportunity to do whatever we can do to get to where we have to go.
For both of you guys. You guys were unwavering throughout the whole process. Why were you so confident and able to keep your confidence throughout the whole 3-month process, but the period before that as well?
I think because at the end of the day, we made this appeal because we really felt it was the right thing to do, and it wasn't trying to weigh your chances of success or whatever. We felt that the facts didn't justify the penalty, and when we looked at those 115 kids that had just gone through two-a-days and were preparing, well, actually they had just reported. It was interesting, the timing. But it was the right thing to do, so that that's what we really hung our hat on. And after we went through the hearing, we felt like we had done well, but we didn't know what kind of threshold you would have to meet to actually overturn what the Committee on Infractions had imposed. But we always felt that, one, we had a good case, and two, we were justified in doing that based on it was the right thing to do and not some type of gamesmanship or some of the things that people have tried to say we were doing.
Coaches, have you ever dealt with something as unsettling as waiting this long to hear a result? Was it like leading up to a big game or anything like that? Can you compare it to anything?
Just when I asked my wife to marry me. No, I felt 100% that it was a good fight. And, you go into a fight and, you're not going to win them all, but if you don't win, you're still going to come out fighting. And I think that's what you have to do as a coach and athletic director is fight for your athletes, especially if there's something that's not accurate or not the way you think it should be perceived. And I think that's exactly what took place with this. This was done for those kids last year, the seniors, 20 seniors we had that, I would have hated to walk into that room and say, listen, we're not going to be playing for anything this year except the love of the game, and and let's go out and do what we can do. But that this year coming up, we would have had to dealt with it as far as what would have taken place. But I think the kids are very ecstatic that we got this done, and I think the kids leaving really appreciate that we went out on a limb for them, and really didn't go out on a limb as much as I thought we read the report, and we had a very good argument as far as why we shouldn't have postseason ban.
Understand you guys learned on Friday the decision. Did you know it was happening on Friday? Did you get informed via letter or phone call that this is what the decision is, or did you have an idea to be ready for a decision on Friday? And what was the mood when you found out?
Literally, I got an email, and I just came back from a summit on the West Coast, so in between breaks, I was just looking through my email, and I read it again, and I read it again, and I read it again, and I called our general counsel because I saw that he had been copied on the email just to make sure I was reading it correctly. He hadn't seen it yet, and so I called somebody else, and I forwarded it to them and had them read it just to make sure that I was reading it correctly. And then I called Coach and said, we won the appeal. So that's, and then then I started making phone calls, calling Dr. Hitt and so on and so forth. But I got it in an email, and I probably read it 20 times before I called somebody else, just because I wasn't, I wanted to make sure I was reading it correctly.
Knights fans, season tickets are now available for the upcoming football season. You can get them by calling the UCF ticket office at 407-UCF-1000 or by going online at ucfathletics.com.